Hi, my name is Diane Kovanda, and this is Yoga Talk. And today we have a guest from Montreal. Thank you so much for coming. This is Maria Alexakis, and your business is named M.Yoga.Girl.
Yes.
And I know you've traveled a lot all over the world, and you've traveled yesterday, I think it was, that you came here.
I came down to the Cape from Montreal. You know, the Cape is a second home for me. When I'm here, it feels like my first home, and then Montreal. But I love both places equally, and I get something from both of them. But yes, I've been spending a lot more time in Montreal. All that commuting got to me, so I've moved operations over there for the time being. So
it's so nice to have you visiting.
But I miss you guys all down here.
We miss you terribly.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk to you today about the language of yoga.
Okay.
Because we were having a conversation earlier.
That's right.
And I fell in love with this conversation.
Right.
Sometimes when people are saying things, I just want to take little snapshots or write them down because they're quotes I want to use later on. And so I was wondering if you could tell a little bit about the language of yoga.
I will. Well, first of all, you know, everybody knows that you've been my teacher for a long time, and you will always continue to be my teacher. So every time I have something going on up in Montreal, I'll always try to contact you and say, oh my God, this is happening or that's happening. But my first yoga experience in Montreal happened to be in a class where the teacher spoke only French. And my mind started to wander, and I started to come up with this concept of the language of yoga, right? And I thought to myself, this is so beautiful, right? Here you have a teacher speaking all French, right? And my French has been quite rusty because I've lived in the US for quite a bit of time. And the experience was so lovely, Diane. And I felt so connected. And I thought to myself, here I am, and I happen to be in Montreal. But I can be anywhere in the world. So I can be, for example, where I've been to Greece, or you can find yourself in China, you can find yourself in India, you can find yourself anywhere in the world. And yoga is always the same. Like the language of it, the spirit of it, the essence of it, right? Because it's just purely and simply love, right? So I equated it automatically to food, right? Because everybody can relate to food, right? It doesn't matter what your ethnicity is, right? Everybody gets together for food. Music, right? You hear an amazing song, everybody starts to vibe, right? If you start to listen to Bob Marley, right? It doesn't matter if you're 8 or 80, right? Black or white, right? You start vibing to Bob Marley, right?
Yeah.
Theater, dance, right? So yoga, I made that connection, was that, right? It was this experience, right? And it didn't matter what language the teacher was speaking. And having said that, because I'm living in Montreal, and French is required up there. A lot of times students will ask me, well, is your class in French, or is it, I also teach senior Greek ladies, shout out to my senior Greek ladies, where we teach chair yoga, and they want to know, well, is it in French, is it in English, are we going to understand? And I just give them the advice of, just enjoy, you're going to be fine, be fearless, it's going to be okay, nothing is going to happen. And that has been my experience of it. So once people come in and they start to more feel here than here, right? They get out of here and they go, okay, right? And then they're seeing their neighbor next to them, oh, I'm supposed to get my arm up, or oh, I'm supposed to, then the whole thing is once they let go, it's an amazing experience for them, right? So the advice that I give is just be fearless. Try something. It doesn't matter if you don't understand exactly the word. It's like, let's say, I was saying to you about Bon Jovi, right? No one's going to ask Bon Jovi to sing his music in Chinese, right? He's going to sing it, but everybody's going to sing along. And most of us don't know all the words to every song anyways, right? And it's that type of experience. You may not understand every word, but you're going to understand the essence of it, right? The spirit of it. And that's been my experience with when I travel and when I'm having people of different ethnicities come to my classes and what they expect and what's going to happen. So
it's like food, music,
Dance.
things that dance, that
Yeah.
nourish
Art.
the human being.
That's right. They're
And-
nourishing your soul, they're nourishing your spirit. They stir a passion, right? When we see something, when we see a piece of, like when we hear a piece of music or we witness a dance or we witness art, right? Yoga in the same way, I think of it always, I always think of my classes that I'm creating, right? Now maybe it was because I was an art student, I always think of it in terms of creating something. And I see yoga very much like that. I don't pre-plan my classes. I have an idea and then I come in and I allow this process to unfold. It's like an artist, right? That's painting. They may not know exactly, it's not a photographic image, but it starts to evolve, right?
Right.
And when you invite people to come along for that ride, it doesn't matter what language they speak, right? I don't know if you've ever been to a Greek wedding, right? I am Greek, everyone.
have.
So you know when that
quite a
music
party.
when the music comes on, right? Everybody wants to get their zorba on, I call it, right? They want to get up and dance, and nobody's like, oh my God, I don't know exactly the steps. No, everyone's getting into it, having a good time, and that is the essence, I think, of it, right?
That's beautiful.
And I have to quickly add that one of the classes that I taught was for special needs, young adults. They were, Diane, one of my best classes because they weren't caught up in the language, in how they looked, if they could touch their toes or not. They couldn't care less, right? They were just about being in the moment, right? And having the experience. So yoga for me is all about that. Right.
So that everybody can breathe,
That's right.
And I've heard that saying, if you can walk, you can dance.
That's
if you
right.
can breathe, you can do yoga.
That's right. That's right. And it doesn't have to be, you know, on your head, right? We need to sometimes demystify it a little for people, right? And say, you know your audience, right? And say, come on in, just, you know, and relate it to yourself. Like I'm a perfect example. I'm someone that you'll never see me in a headstand. My head doesn't like it. My neck doesn't like it. So guess what? I'm not going to be in a headstand.
You're not teaching
No.
headstands.
Well, I'll teach, you know, if somebody wants to, and I'll take them through it, right? But I always allow my students to modify, and then if they are a little more advanced, because my classes are quite varied, if they're a little more advanced, then we get them to that next level, and somebody can be in plow or with legs up the wall, and some of my other students might, can I go into? Yes, you can. I'm here for you. I'll
love it.
Yeah. But my head isn't going down there, right? So, and I think what that does is it like puts everyone at ease and say, oh, I
don't have to do that.
Right, like I can honor my body, right? I only have 2 rules in my classes. We practice ahimsa, which means nonviolence. Nonviolence first and foremost to yourself, right? Respecting yourself, your own body, listening to your own voice, and then we have a good time. It's only yoga. We're not gonna take it too seriously. We're gonna smile, and we're gonna get on with it, right? And that philosophy disarms people, right?
It's got to enhance your life, right? Not be this
That's right.
trial of sweating and grunting and not feeling great about
That's
yourself. It's just got to feel good and be a happy experience.
That's right, and it's okay.
Yeah.
I always say falling over is perfect. It's good, right? Because it teaches you, Diane, it teaches you life lessons, right? It teaches you that you're gonna get up. And sometimes you might get up a little slower, right? But that's how life is also, right? And then other times you just snap right back up, you know? And I always use the example of how I love teaching here on the beach, right? That was one of my favorite classes.
It's
and
soft
I miss
falling
it,
there.
right? And I miss it, but it changes your body totally,
Sure.
right? And I give people the example, say, it's okay, fall, it's good, right? You're gonna get right back up again, you know?
And the sand will catch you.
And the
It's
sand
not
will
too
catch
far.
you. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Or you're going to bump into your neighbor next to you. That's okay. You know, it's
Yeah.
okay. I think we're so, it's okay, right? It's that 1 hour that somebody can give to themselves or 30 minutes to give to themselves. So for me, I'm just thrilled that someone has taken that time to gift themselves those 30 minutes or those 60 minutes, right? And I want them to stop being hard on themselves and just say, oh, I made it today. And if you just made it and all you wanted to do was be in Shavasana, I'm fine with that.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And I love that's what you leave people with, and that's what I've heard from your students is,
Thank you, Diane.
I walked out feeling okay about myself.
Yeah.
And not a lot of activities leave you with that feeling. It's beautiful. Thank you so much for coming
Thank you,
and sharing
Diane.
your philosophy.
And you're my beloved teacher. I just I miss you, and you know I miss you. You know, because I call you all the time, and so
I'll be up in Montreal.
I
before you
can't
know
wait.
it.
I can't wait. We're gonna start a whole yoga revolution up there.
Yeah.
So terrific.
Thank you so
My
much.
pleasure. My pleasure.